We are Saber Sports.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Simone Steffen, joined by the incredible team at the desk. Shane Fordham, Jeremiah Williams, Chris Zellis, and Tamir Jean-Charles. We have an incredible show for you today. At the Combine interviews, Caleb Williams stated that he would not release his medical records to teams who have a lower draft pick, insinuating that he would be selected before they have a chance to pick him. When asked if he had considered possibly not being the number one overall pick, he responded, "I don't think I'm not going to be number one. I don't think of a plan B." Chris, would you draft Caleb Williams number one overall?
You know, I absolutely love Caleb Williams, you know, what he's doing right now and what he's done these past couple years winning the Heisman and whatnot. But he is not a lock for this year's number one overall pick. He's not QB1 in this draft. QB1 in this draft is Jaden Daniels. Now, there should be no objection because he is the best statistical player and the best technical player, the most athletic quarterback in this draft. He's the best quarterback in this draft, hands down, period. You want to look at the numbers, we're going 3,800 yards passing, 50 touchdowns. Then he added 1,000 yards rushing with another 10 touchdowns, and he only threw 4 interceptions this past year. All-American, he's 6'4", 210 pounds. He's an explosive runner. He has elite ball placement. He's amazing on and off schedule. And usually with guys that you see are so athletic and so explosive, you know, they have erratic feet or they have a awful throwing motion, can't get the ball in places where they need to. None of that. Very calm feet, very smooth delivery with his arm. You know, he has the ability to change arm angles and make different throws, but he's consistently consistent with his motion and where he delivers the ball. Now, he was at LSU and he had some dogs and with Neighbors and Thomas at receiver, but when you turn on the tape, it's a lot of him putting the ball where it needs to be and not them making plays for him. Now, of course, they made plays, but he puts the ball exactly where it needs to be so that they can go make plays for him. He's the best quarterback in this draft, hands down, and I don't think there's any debate, shouldn't be any argument with that.
This is interesting.
That's a good take, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm not mad at that.
Can't be mad at it.
Not mad at it at all. I just
Definitely about to get an argument, though.
yeah, there might be an argument, but that was solid.
Let's talk.
And-
Let's talk.
I mean, let's talk. So, right, y'all might be mad at what I'm about to say, and I'm about to say it. I'm not taking a quarterback number one.
J. Will, please don't.
I'm serious. No, and I just want y'all to listen. I know this might be a crazy J. Will take, but
I'm going to hear you out on this.
I'm
going to hear you out.
taking.
All right,
I'm gonna take Marvin Harrison Jr. number one.
I don't hate that.
Not mad at that at all.
I don't hate that.
Okay.
I don't hate that.
I just
Not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
6'4", 205. He's a deep threat. I call him. Y'all might like this. I call him Mr. 7-Eleven because 7-Eleven doesn't close because he's always open. Yeah, like that. Okay. He's a number one option, of course. He can stop on a dime. Ability to track and adjust to different throws. Can play in the slot as well, so he's versatile. He can play outside, he can play inside, and I think that's needed for the Bears. He has a full package, y'all. And I think also number one, too, another thing is as well, he's the safest bet in the draft because I know he's going to come out of college and produce in the NFL. He already plays like he's in the NFL. And I have a couple comparisons, and stay with me here. He reminds me of Calvin Johnson, deep threat. His speed of Randy Moss, his route running of Devontae Adams. And that's what I see. And I don't know why you guys are smiling.
I got
with
2 out of
you.
the 3.
But
once you said Megatron,
And he's
I haven't really seen the D-ball tracking from
the
him
reason
yet
why I
for
say
that.
the reason why I say and stay with me. The reason why I say
trying,
Calvin
I'm trying,
Johnson is
I'm
because
trying.
deep threat size.
Right,
That's
6'4".
That's what
I'm
I'm
looking
looking
at.
That's what I'm
But you
looking
could have said A.J. Green, too.
Yeah, A.J. Green.
I mean,
I was
that's
going
a-
there.
that's a
I was
close
going there.
case,
I was going there. Just stay with me. I was
All
going.
right,
I was saying
hey,
A.J.
this-
Green as well. So when you take all those into account, and you have to look at what do the Bears need, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. should go number one, and I really believe he's going to go number one because of how he can produce and what he can produce early. You don't have to worry about him he's going to obviously develop, but it's going to be there faster than other players.
I agree
He's
with
not
that.
as fast as Randy Moss, but everything else was good.
I
did like it.
You like the take?
I did.
Yeah,
I did like the take. I did like the take.
I like the take. I
That
like
was
the
very,
addition
very
of the,
logical, Jerry. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I like
I'm
the
always
addition-
honest.
I'm
Don't
really
do
proud
that.
of you.
Don't do
I'm
that.
proud of you.
I like the addition of the slot. I didn't know he was 6'4". Adding that to the slot,
Yeah.
quick third
205.
downs.
No, he's a big
6'4",
205.
That's some weight. That's
He's a
some
good
weight.
receiver.
On tape, you wouldn't be able to tell because how he moves. And how
Yeah.
he-
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly,
It
that's
didn't
the
he
thing.
looked sneaky. Like
But on the
his
field,
quickness,
when you
yeah,
go
he's-
against him, he
yeah.
can put that weight on you.
That's pretty true. Okay. Now, Chris already knows I was talking crazy before we started this, but I'm actually not going to get into that because I actually really like that take. But I'm going to go for Caleb Williams still for best player in this draft. And the reason why I'll say this is that if we compare Jane Daniels, right, and Caleb Williams.
Okay.
I feel like one is kind of like that prodigy almost. And, Jane Daniels was in Iowa State, didn't really work out for him. Really gets in the lab, hones his skills, comes to LSU, and, starts really balling. He's in a situation that could really work for him. But in terms of like what they can and can't do, I feel like it's going to come down to IQ in the league. They both have amazing arms. They both can throw the ball like 60, 70 yards in the air. They both can get out the pocket. I feel like it's going to be one of those rookie QBs things where it's like, are you going to come in the league and are you going to be antsy? Are you going to sit there in the pocket? Are you going to throw the rock? Or are you going to, try to break out? And it's going to be one of those things. So it depends on who has the better IQ. I still would go for Caleb Williams. I mean, we've seen USC's defense. It's garbage. It's
Same with
atrocious.
LSU.
USC's defense is probably the worst defense in college football in the past 10 years. Okay. So he's a Heisman winner. He could have had a ship.
So you're looking. So
he was like 6-7-0 before their defense.
Are we looking at what he? So we're looking at obviously what he did because that matters. But like
Right.
Heisman, like that.
Heisman's already won the Heisman.
So that you think you when you think of like number one, you have to get a Heisman.
Heisman doesn't correlate to success.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Does it correlate?
It doesn't, but the eye test correlates. Like
Nah.
you're probably thinking of something like a Johnny Manziel. It's like, oh, why didn't that work out? Well, look at the look at the character. Look at the person. You have to look at everything.
It does matter.
Look
That's
at Caleb Williams. Look at his. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And looking at quarterbacks that didn't win the Heisman as well in
Right.
the past over those who did.
Yeah.
And I also want to make another point. Without USC's defense, I feel like Caleb Williams would have won 2 Heismans. Something quick I wanted to add in there.
Go ahead, Shane. This was your point.
Tamir, I agree with you. But also, Jerry, I'm not mad at your take either because with the number 1 overall pick, if I'm the Bears, I'm going to save most of this for the next segment, but if I'm the Bears, I'm definitely not taking Caleb Williams.
So you agree with me?
No, I do. I would if I'm the Bears, I'm taking Marvin
just wanted
Harrison.
him to
If
say
I'm
that.
using that
They
pick,
already have a quarterback.
If I'm using that pick, I'm taking Marvin. But in terms of quarterbacks, in terms of which quarterback would I draft first? If I was in the market for a quarterback, I would take Caleb Williams. One, I know he's ready for the league. I know he's ready because if you saw him at the combine, dude hadn't been to a barbershop in months. So that means he's locked in. He's focused. He hasn't left. We're assuming that means he hasn't left the gym. He hasn't left the gym in months. He's in the gym consistently. He's in the film room consistently. He's working on his craft consistently. But then just looking at, like
Shane,
Tamir
you
said,
know Caleb? You with him every day? You just saw him without a haircut.
I'm just going off what I see. I'm just going off. I hope that's what that means. No lineup, no fade. Hey, no lineup,
the Eagles.
no lineup, no fade. I hope that's what that means. That he was in isolation, working on his game, because that's also what Jimmy Butler does. In the summer, in the summer he isolates him.
Lately.
That's one of my favorite basketball. I think that's my favorite basketball player. But I'm just identifying the professional traits in terms of training.
Understand.
So assuming that's what that means.
Understand.
But all jokes aside, I think that Caleb Williams is the most complete quarterback in the draft. I do see what you're saying with Jaden Daniels. I think that if anyone were to get drafted above Jaden Daniels QB-wise, it would be Jaden. But I think just in terms of complete skill, talent, what they are capable of, potential, I think Caleb Williams outweighs him in that aspect. I think he has the size, he has the arm, he does have the mobility when he needs it. So I think for me, I would take Caleb Williams. He's not too far behind him in stats. He's 200 yards less in terms of passing.
That was college.
They're very similar.
They're very. That was
I
college.
mean, they're such
That was
similar
college.
players. That
We're looking at stats.
And also Caleb Williams didn't play every single game this year too, so that plays a factor in terms of the stat differential as well. But I think for me, I would take Caleb in terms
I think
of
the problem with Caleb
QB.
is sometimes your biggest strength can be your biggest weakness.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams tends to overextend, try to overcreate
Overdo.
in the game, and those are things you cannot do in the NFL. You cannot hold the ball and try to overcreate. Those lead to sacks. Those lead to turnovers. It led to turnovers in college. There are times when you turn on tape because I am the only quarterback at the desk. When I look at his tape, I see him
Played in
bypassing
high
what they're
school.
giving him, the easy. It's a stick concept. He's not going to throw the hit. He's trying to overcreate and score a touchdown, turnover. You kind of see that with Josh Allen in the red zone, the ability to try to overcreate hurts him a lot, and he turns the ball over in the red zone. I think Caleb Williams is a great player. I love his ability. I love his talent. But I think Jaden Daniels is the more complete guy. He takes what the defense gives him. Those are things that translate directly to the NFL and being ready to play right away.
And
I'm
Chris,
not mad at that.
you would know more than me in terms of
Quarterback.
the technicians of a quarterback. And I see what you're saying, because I think it will be a test for him in terms of what his decision making will be like on that level in terms of the timing. Because playing behind that USC O-line and playing behind an O-line like the Bears or the Cardinals or one of the teams who has a higher draft pick is going to be a big difference. So I do see the point.
And
I do see what you're saying.
I think he's a great quarterback. I think he will be successful. But I just think Jaden Daniels is the better guy right now. But I do love him. I'm not knocking him at all, like saying he's awful. He's a great quarterback, great talent.
Sticking with, seeing if they had to draft a quarterback, I still think Marvin Harrison. But if I had to choose a quarterback, I would choose Daniels. Because when you think of he gives what the defense takes, and that, like you said, it translates. But you can also, he's not worried about doing too much or too little. He's going to do what the defense gives him. He's going to stay neutral and be consistent. So,
Speaking of Caleb Williams, coming up next, what is in the future of the Bears' QB1 spot? We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the show. Keith Norris Jr. joins the desk. With the first overall draft pick, the Bears could easily take Caleb Williams off the board early, which would mean trading their quarterback, Justin Fields. Fields recently said this about his future in Chicago.
Do you want to stay in Chicago, or what's up?
Yeah, of course. Of course I want to stay. To be honest, bro, I'll be trying to with all the talk, it's hard to, I guess kind of just be in one place, but I can't see myself playing in another place. But I know how that league is. If it was up to me, I would want to stay in Chicago.
Should the Bears draft Williams or keep Fields?
So what should Chicago do? I've kind of been thinking about this a while, and Justin Fields is not the problem in Chicago. This guy is an elite talent, elite athlete. He has elite arm talent, elite run ability. But I think the problem in Chicago is one, what he's been surrounded by, and coaching. I think the biggest we see this all the time. The biggest problem with young quarterback talents in the NFL is when they're put in a bad situation and asked to go perform. It never works. It never works. You look at C.J. Stroud this year, amazing season, surrounded by amazing talent and amazing coaching.
right.
That's what you need as a young quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
His best receiver was DJ Moore, and they had just acquired him this past season. Before he was throwing to Darnell Mooney and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know how to say his other brother's name. That was his best receiver. That's who he was throwing to. And I think, that makes a difference. He's had two different coaches, head coaches in his first 2 seasons. Yeah, 3 seasons. That all plays a part in development and becoming a good quarterback in the NFL. I think this season he even showed that he's still an elite talent. In the win, they won the last 4 of the 6 games they played. He won those games for them. Versus Atlanta, he had 268 yards passing, 45 yards rushing, so 300 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and did the same thing again against a Detroit defense. And we saw what Detroit was like in the playoffs and moving forward. So I think that, the Bears should go in the direction of drafting things to help Justin Fields. This draft is great for offensive linemen. A lot of great offensive tackles in this draft. There are a lot of great receivers in this draft. They need to do something to help Justin Fields continue to grow and get better, because he is not the problem in Chicago at all.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Jesus, we got.
We'll talk today.
It's a good. You got to laugh. You definitely have to keep Justin Fields. You can't get rid of him, because then you bring in somebody else in an unknown same situation, and it's the unknown. Chris, like you said before, you have to build. Justin Fields is not a great quarterback. He has the potential to be a great quarterback. With the potential, you have to put people around him. Who do you put around him? Marvin Harrison Jr. perfect option.
Just
You
ready to say that.
bring Justin Fields back. You draft Marvin Harrison. You get a 2-for-1 deal essentially. You still got two young guys. You know Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to produce. You know Justin Fields is going to. He's improving as a passer. So when you keep that with the Bears, and then you bring somebody to relieve the stress like passing, like Marvin Harrison Jr. It gets crazy, and you have to keep Justin Fields because you know what you're going to get. You know you're going to get somebody that comes in every day that's going to actually try. You know you're going to get somebody that actually can run with the football. You need to build around Fields, and Marvin Harrison is the person. So you got to keep Fields for sure.
So I'm going to look at it from two different ways. I feel like they should keep him.
Okay.
But in his 3 years, they haven't shown much of help. Now, when you look at who they have drafted some O-linemen. Hasn't been much of a help. They do have DJ Moore, as you said. And I think he had 1,300 receiving yards, so he did his thing.
Yeah,
I'm going to say this. If they don't bring in Marvin Harrison, they got to let him go. And the reason why I think they should let him go, personally, y'all made a lot of sense.
Let Justin Fields go?
Yes.
So
Y'all made a lot of sense because, mind you, he need a fresh – I'm going to say this. He need a fresh start.
Come help my Steelers.
And the reason why I feel like he need –
I'm not mad at that.
But look, the reason why I
no.
think he need a fresh start because the organization they showed that they want him. Mind you, talks coming out. They have not said we want you. Imagine you as a coach right now. Coach Pattis, for instance, don't tell you, hey, we want you, man. We look forward to this. When a coach,
showing what they're gonna do.
And I feel like they not really fully committed to him. As you see, they didn't build around him. Now they have a chance, but if they don't build around him this year, let him go. Let him flourish and let him blossom somewhere else.
I don't
restart.
He
need a restart.
I get the restart, and then let me say this before you go. I don't like the restart because you're putting him in an unknown situation again.
But that could be a better
It's
situation.
literally a cycle. So think about it. You put him in another situation. Another 3 years go by. Has he really
Who
got
says
better?
another situation?
But who's gonna pick? Who
He
wants
could
to pick
level
him
up. Never.
I don't
he can
think
play.
that. He can play, but I don't think that.
That's why I'm
you
looking at
have
it from
to-
two different ways. I think they should keep him, but if they
You
not
gotta
going to
keep him.
build
You
around
have to
him
keep
and they
him.
not going to get Harrison, let that man
I
go.
think
You have someone that's committed
That's
to
what
you.
I'm saying.
You have someone that's committed to you, but they want this other person over here that's not showing any interest.
No off-season
like and
talks.
like Justin Fields, he's the second best rushing quarterback in the league behind Lamar Jackson. And I think in the right situation, I believe he could have as successful as a season,
That's why-
maybe more successful than what C.J. Stroud did this year.
So
I
what do
feel
you-
like
let him
I feel,
flourish.
What are you
I'm,
doing?
I'm,
You're getting rid of
we
him?
can't
I'm keeping Justin Fields.
Thank you.
If I'm the
you
Bears,
build around
if
him.
I'm the Bears,
You have to
I'm
build around
keeping
him.
Justin
But who
Fields.
said they
I
going
think,
to, though?
I think.
You
but-
like-
hold on.
you have to be out the right-
Hold on. If I'm the Bears, I'm keeping Justin Fields and I'm drafting Marvin Harrison with the first overall pick, or I'm using that number 1 overall pick to trade down and get more assets.
I don't
to
want a
surround
lineman.
Justin
That's
I
Fields.
want a
my
wide
point.
receiver.
Because-
I'm sorry.
because-
I'm sorry.
Because like,
all agree
hold
with
on.
you. Mind you,
I'm
we
just saying.
agree with you.
I know y'all agree. I'm saying this right now. Don't draft a lineman. Get a wide receiver.
But I'm saying, but
Quarterback
both are equal needs because the Bears O line is one of the worst
Yeah,
O
you don't
linemen
see
in the
a
league.
weapon.
They
And what
are,
I'm saying,
but I
saying
want a
is-
weapon.
But what I'm saying, I agree. But I'm saying either way, you need to surround asset. You need to surround Justin Fields with assets,
Yes.
not draft another QB. I think the Bears. I think the Bears need to literally do anything else but draft Caleb Williams.
You cannot draft Caleb Williams.
And I think that once you surround, because Justin Fields, with what he's done in just 1 year with DJ Moore alone, you know, the glimpses that
1,300
he's shown,
yards.
Yeah.
the glimpses that he's shown this year, and even without DJ Moore, Justin Fields has shown steady improvement from year to year since he got drafted.
That's
in
promise.
2021.
That's promise.
Now we're getting to the point now where this is getting dangerous for the Bears because if I'm Justin Fields, I'm not happy with the Bears.
Right.
That's what
You're
my
not?
point.
If the
Right.
Bears to me are showing what they're going to do, the fact that this is even a conversation is showing that they're not happy with Justin Fields or they
Right.
feel like they cannot go far with Justin Fields.
And
If
that's
anything,
my
that's-
point.
that's a
And
good
that's
point.
why I
That's a
said let him go and flourish.
I don't
Piggy-
know.
and
I don't
Piggy-
know.
but look,
It's
Your girl
the
not feeling
unknown.
you. You gonna stay with her?
No, I'm not staying.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, y'all know me. I'm not staying. Listen, I don't have a problem with what you're saying. It's just the thing is the unknown. I don't know.
I know.
the
That's the-
situation.
that
So
is
we
the
put him in
point.
another. Like you said, the cycle continues.
And we
What if
waste
it's a
more
team-
years on this
What if
life.
it's a team?
Yeah.
Exactly. You wasting a young man's promising career, and that's the problem.
If anything, I feel like the Bears should want to keep Justin Fields more than Justin Fields should want to stay on the Bears.
Exactly.
Because
Thank
he,
you.
What did that song say? On to the next one?
in
On
any-
to the next one.
in any other situation, I feel like Justin Fields could definitely be a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Justin
He
Fields
has.
is the top 5 quarterback.
I feel like in any other situation, he could be
In
a
a
top
situation.
5. He has the potential to
Yeah,
be
that's
a top
true.
5
But
quarterback.
that's a lot of
on
quarterbacks,
any
though.
other situation.
That's a lot of
He has,
quarterbacks.
but I'm saying he has He definitely has the mobility skills.
Yes.
He can run like a running back,
Yeah.
but he also has the arm.
He has the arm strength.
He has the arm
Yes.
strength
Yeah.
and accuracy of a quarterback when he is properly protected.
And you said arm shift, and who is the person that can flourish off of Justin Fields' arm shift? And I say it again, Marvin Harrison Jr. My God.
I know, that's your
Chicago.
attitude.
Where my camera at? Chicago. You need to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to. Period.
But even if they don't, this draft is deep with receivers. So like,
Yeah,
like you
absolutely.
said, if you go get an O-lineman, and you like, there are so many different ways you can go with drafting. Keeping Justin Fields. You draft Caleb Williams, and now it's like, okay, well, who's going to protect him?
Right.
Who's he throwing the ball to?
Marvin Harrison Jr. Chicago. If Chicago can get Marvin Harrison Jr., they can go to the playoffs. That's not
That's not far off.
That's
That is
not far off.
I
But their
100%
linemen
agree.
gotta step up too.
I 100%
Their
agree.
O-line gotta step up.
Coaching has to
They
change.
yes, it's a lot of other factors.
I
with
100%
this, too.
agree.
Baseball fans, stay tuned as we discuss the best moves in the MLB free agency when we come back. Welcome back. The MLB season has been anything but boring, with major signings and trades all over. Tamir, which newly acquired star excites you the most?
Big season coming up. MLB made a lot of moves. The move that I think is the biggest one is Juan Soto to the Yankees. The Yankees haven't won a lot in a minute, probably since Babe Ruth.
Stop saying that.
Probably since black and white footage. I mean,
Jesus.
it's like I feel like a lot of Bronx natives, they just thought that Stanton and Judge was going to be enough. I feel like
I thought it did though.
To be honest, I thought so too. I thought the bullpen was going to be enough, but Garrett Cole is, I feel like that's your ace. It's not really an ace.
Yeah.
But yeah, last year batted 275, which actually is down for Juan Soto, with 35 home runs, 109 RBIs, 930 OPS. Obviously, that's very elite, and he's only 25.
Jesus.
So the Yankees just added Juan Soto to their lineup with Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. If you guys don't bring home the pennant, I have no idea what to say.
I'm so excited about this. And same person. I'm a Yankees fan, y'all. And I've been a Yankees fan, and this is a little tangent. I've been a Yankees. Whoa!
When have you?
I've always been a
Since
Yankees
when have you
fan.
been a Yankees fan?
I'm a Yankees fan.
This is literally the first time I've
No,
heard this.
no. Let me explain the story.
When has you?
Let me explain the story. I went to
What?
a baseball
You're not
game.
from New York?
I'm not from New York, but I'm a Yankees fan. Number one, I have a hat. Number two, Nick Swisher, he hit a home run, and I caught the ball.
Nick Swisher,
when I was
okay.
little. Number two, Robinson, I caught a ball from Robinson Cano. Ever since then, I've been a Yankees fan. But back on topic.
You got two baseballs?
I have two. Well, no. I have like 4 or 5.
That's
but
tough.
Robinson Cano.
Robinson Cano?
Real ones, no. New York?
Yeah.
But back on topic. He reminds me a little bit of Robinson Cano. And I know that's crazy to say.
The swing, no, I feel that.
That's swing.
Yeah.
Chris, this is
He's
news to
never
me.
afraid of the big stage.
news
This
to
is
me.
not crazy. He's a 3-time All-Star. Multiple seasons with at least 30 home runs. That is impressive, y'all. Like, when we think about, Judge, Stanton, and him on a team, my God, New York, stand up. I'm going to be at some games. You know why? Because we're going to be winning some championships.
New York looks real good.
It's looking really promising. I'm so happy about this move because it brings that New York life that it was missing for a little
Yes,
bit.
that
New York
excitement.
baseball is known for the excitement, the fans, the home runs, and now we're getting this again. So I'm so excited for this one. I'm a New York fan. I know what y'all talking
I'm happy
about.
for you, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're a new fan, Yankees fan.
I know. I've always been a fan.
Okay,
They
got
are-
it.
people know where my
I'm just saying it was news to
New
us.
to us.
Oh yeah,
It
because I
was
never.
news-
But
it was
I've always
news to
been.
us.
I have a hat and everything.
This was the information that we had.
We had to let him wear his hat next.
Yeah, facts.
I better see you wear some Yankees gear during
I
this season.
have.
I'm gonna move out west and go with the Dodgers with Shohei Ohtani coming over from the Angels. He was 4th in home runs with 44, had 95 RBIs, was 10th in batting average with 304. And you pair him with Jason Hayward and Mookie Betts, who had a 307 average, which was 8th, had 39 home runs, which was 7th. And he was 6th in RBIs with 107. Sounds like a pitcher's nightmare to me over there with the Dodgers. So definitely, I think Shohei moving over there will have a big impact and will impact them immediately. I think he already hit a home run in spring training, so he's already shown what he can do. So I think he will definitely help those Dodgers out this year.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Shohei Ohtani, he was single-handedly winning games last year. He was hitting home runs. He was striking people out. I mean, he's just an all-around superstar, And I feel like this would have been in Space Jam if Michael Jordan joined the Monstars. Like that's how loaded this Dodgers team looks heading into the season.
Thing, yeah.
Right. And Shohei's coming in fresh. They rested him for a lot of spring training so that he could come in, have the right time to recuperate, heal up. So this is a fresh Shohei Ohtani playing with Mookie Betts, playing with Jason, and then picking up Yamamoto too, pairing those two guys together. I mean, this is a squad. I don't see how. I mean, this is prime time baseball. I don't see how it can get any better than this. We're talking about prime time. Yeah, right. We're talking about prime time LA baseball. I feel like, and in a bigger market too, I feel like Shohei is about to take over the league. More so than he did last year. With being in the market that he's in, we know how LA can maximize careers, can grow superstars more than they already were. So I feel like Shohei Ohtani being on the Dodgers has to be the best acquisition of this offseason in the MLB because I feel like Shohei Ohtani. I feel like Ohtani is the most dynamic player in the MLB.
Talk to me.
So just by definition, if you pick up the most dynamic player in the MLB, that's got to be the most dynamic acquisition.
I will say something. I'll say two things. One, Shohei's not going to pitch this year. He's having surgery. But that just shows you how good he is that he still got that contract just off of hitting.
Right.
That's
but I
crazy.
will say is with the Dodgers being in the NL and the Yankees being in the AL,
Let's talk about it.
let's
talk about it. Let's talk about
that
it.
could be the pennant matchup.
From LA to New
Shohei
York,
versus Judge and Soto and them.
I'm down for
We
it.
might as well just start planning out that little pregame show now.
Yeah.
Looking
for sure.
ahead to that series game. Might as well just start planning it out
Facts.
now.
Baseball is getting, baseball is got to be, it's very exciting. But with these stars going to different teams, like I'm excited to see like who comes out on top. Yeah, like you got Dodgers, you got the Yankees, man.
Astros are obviously still.
Astros still there.
And playoff baseball, like basketball, it speeds up.
Yeah.
It ramps up, and both in intensity and gameplay. So I feel like once you have two dynamic teams like this, I mean, grab your popcorn, grab your 3D glasses because get ready for the show because the lights are on.
Yeah.
I'm at the Yankees game.
You said you're what?
I'm at the Yankees game.
Okay, we'll see. I want to see that.
Ask around.
I want to see that.
That's all we have for today's show. Be sure to tune back in with us next week on WGNT 27. I'm your host, Simone Steffen, and you're watching Saber Sports for your favorite sport.